Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 25th day of July in the year 2024. Sure glad you joined us today, no matter where it is you are in the country. Hope you're enjoying your Thursday. This is a special broadcast, something we've never done before, but we are going to attempt to do today, because in the coming weeks there are three important dates on the calendar that any parent of a Kearny school child really needs to know about. Two of the dates are the distribution dates for the Kearny Public School Uniform Exchange, and the other date is for the distribution of collected school supplies for Kearny school children. And yesterday I had a chance to speak with two people, Jenny Paz, who of course is running this program, and Melanie Ryan, who has been assisting her with this program. And she gave me a lot of information and a lot of details that I'm going to share in next week's edition of The Observer, and I thought that would be good to use with you here on the air live for parents to hear. So if you know of any Kearny school parents who may be confused about what's happening with the uniform exchange, this will, we hope, answer just about any questions that you may have about the uniform exchange. And then in a couple of weeks, maybe a week or so after that, the school supply drive that will be distributed. So Jenny sent me this PowerPoint presentation, which I have up on the screen right now, the Kearny Public School Uniform Exchange. And the word exchange is very important in all of this, because what it relies upon is people bringing old uniforms or worn uniforms, well-kept old uniforms, bringing them into the central location, which I'll tell you all about later, and then coming in again, especially for parents who have multiple children in different grade levels. So far, the exchange is still in dire need of donations from parents who have younger kids and who may have older kids now. And if they have kids who are no longer in the schools, in the Kearny public school system, and that includes the charter schools as well. So with that in mind, if you are a parent and you have older uniforms that you are not using anymore, your donation helps keep this process going for a much longer period of time, so that more children can then benefit from getting uniforms that will fit them. So the bottom line is, if nobody donates, there's not going to be enough to distribute to other people. So the whole process is all reliant on folks being generous in donating and then being able to accept all their uniforms for their own children without there being a cost associated with this. And I'll explain a little bit more about that. But as you can see on the screen, this began in 2022 by Jenny Paz, who is a resident of Kearny. She moved here a couple of years ago. She's in the photo right here. And she's up in front of Super Laundromat Center on Kearny Avenue with Danny and George Santos, who are proprietors and own several laundromats throughout Kearny. We have one right by our office, Super Laundromat, right on Kearny Avenue off of Sealy Avenue. And also in this photo with them are the PBA and FMBA presidents. That's Mina Claudius on the left-hand side of your screen next to George. And then that's Juan Barroso Jr., who has been involved in this program. You all know who Juan is, and he's been involved in this since the beginning of the program 2 years ago when Jenny decided to do this. She saw the need for support, and especially for struggling families, because she realized a couple of years ago that when she bought school uniforms for her daughter, the cost was between $350 and $400. And for anybody who may be struggling, that is an astronomical figure, and impossible in some cases for some people to come up with. And Jenny Paz reports that in her first year, over 600 children were helped with uniforms. 37 backpacks with school supplies were supplied. The following year, over 900 children received uniforms and 332 free backpacks and 300 Chromebook earbuds were donated to the local Board of Education to enhance digital learning. That is an astronomical number, but they still anticipate more. In fact, in 2024, the goal is to give out at least 600 backpacks that are filled with school supplies for the young children of Kearny. The most important thing to realize, too, is that a lot of this costs money. And they are a registered 501c3 organization that Jenny started. And the aforementioned Santos brothers, Danny and George, have donated so much to this program. They launder the clothes sometimes because all of the clothing has to be laundered before it can be distributed. And those two guys are among some of the most special people you will ever meet in your lifetime because they are such community activists. They do so many things to make this a better community. And that has not changed in 2024, and it happened also in the 2 years prior to that. And the same can be said of Mina Claudius and Juan Barroso, the two union presidents of the police and fire departments. They have played integral roles in this all happening. And there are a lot of donations that come up through them. So I want that to be very clear. You know, when they are not working, they are doing so many things to make life easier for people who struggle in life. And unfortunately, in this town, even though you may not see it overtly, there are a lot of people in dire need of help. So as you can see on this new slide, who they help and serve are over 5,000 students and their families in Kearny. 33.9% of Kearny's student population are living at or below poverty level. That's almost 2,000 kids, which is remarkable. These numbers, which are sort of repetitive, 903 public school students received uniforms, 332 bags and backpacks with school supplies were given out. And the Kearny Public School Uniform Exchange takes requests off-season for referrals through the town's social worker and through word of mouth. Now, this is where if you are retired, if you are a parent whose children are no longer involved, or if you're looking just to be of service to others, as so many people are in this town, this is where the volunteer community opportunities exist. There is a need for 4 distribution team leaders who will oversee table setups, the site layout, the guide distribution, and the volunteers in each section. Keep it safe while it is happening and providing instruction to the runners who will be walking around and doing things. There's a need for runners. There's a need for end-of-line security volunteers, beginning-of-line security volunteers, registration check-ins, clerks, and things of that nature. So, if you are perhaps available to give some time, you'll see, I'll show you the dates later. I'll also get you the information where you can reach Jenny and you can volunteer, because it is very, very important at this point that they have more volunteers. There are a lot already on board, but as this continues to grow, there's a need for more and more volunteers to get things done and keep things orderly. And I think that's something you're going to see this year because of the way it's set up as opposed to previous years. This is all going to happen at Arlington Depot Park in 2 segments in August. There's also a need for distribution volunteers, moving crews, setting up concession stand attendants to sell snacks and drinks, inventory volunteers. So you see these numbers are high. They have a lot, but they need more. So please consider it if you can or are so inclined. Now, what you're seeing here, I'm going to tell you, is for grades pre-K through grade 6. There is a map of Arlington Depot Park that you can see here, and this is how it's going to be set up on August the 10th. where between 12 and 5 p.m. when the kids who are in pre-K through grade 6 and their families will be able to come. This is how it's going to be set up. And if you're watching this right now and you need to take a screenshot of this, I would recommend you pause the video and take a screenshot now, because you can do that. What we're going to do also at the end of this broadcast is put this up on our website, www.theobserver.com, and on all of our social media pages. And you're also able to find this on the Kearny Public School Uniform Exchange website, which is www.kpsue.org. That's www.kpsue.org. And what you can see here is that it is broken into sizes for the little kids, for the younger kids. The reason we don't have a chart for grades 7 through 12 right now is because they're trying to determine sizes. Because when you get to kids who are 17 or 18 years old, we're starting to talk about adult sizes. So they're still organizing how they want to go about doing that. Okay, so what you should do is bookmark that webpage, kpsue.org, because that chart, once it's done for the older kids, will eventually be placed on that website and, of course, on their social media pages as well, so that you can figure out what's going on there. So this was the overview that Jenny gave us yesterday, and I certainly hope that it is beneficial to you. Now, I'm putting this back up again with an address that you can see here on the top of the screen. And it is that you can donate at Super Laundromat at 336 Kearny Avenue. That is where the clothing goes, so it can be laundered by the Santos brothers and then will be prepared for distribution on the 10th and the 17th of August. So if you have clothing to donate, I should say uniforms to donate to the program, it is there that you can go. It's the only drop-off location for the uniforms in the town. 336 Kearny Avenue, the Super Laundromat over there. Now, here's what we know. Grades pre-K through grades 6 will be distributed from noon until 5 p.m. on Saturday, August 10th. Uniforms will be exchanged for grades 7 through 12 on Saturday, August 17th, 1-7. Those are the 2 days, the only 2 days that uniforms are going to be set. So it's very important that you mark down those dates and the times and that you are there. Now, perhaps even more important, what you see on the screen right now is the Kearny Public School Uniform Exchange website that Jenny has put together on her own. And I'm going to scroll this down a little bit to you so that you can see that there are 2 distinct locations on this website. This first one right here on the left is for kids who are in the pre-K through grades number 6. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, because if you are a parent of a pre-K person through grade 6, this is where you must go to register. You must pre-register. I'm going to explain the exception to that rule. It says it right here, August 10th from 12 to 5. You need to have proof of residency. That does not require a photo ID, but it can be, or it can be a school schedule. It could be a utility bill, the Genesis school portal page that your child has, or anything of that nature, a school report card. If you do not have one of these forms of ID with you, you will be turned away. The reason they're doing this is because they want to ensure that only Kearny residents are able to get what is designed only for Kearny residents, for children of Kearny. Anybody from out of town would not need these shirts, pants, etc. It is only for them. Now, you can register right here on this website. You see right down here where it says name, email, child's name, student ID number, a mobile phone number, address, etc. While this is absolutely required, If for some reason there are folks who do not have internet access, and that is very much a possibility, what they can do on the day of the distribution, on the 10th and the 17th of August, what they can do is take your registration at the door. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If that's the way you do this, you are not going to like it, because it's going to take at least a half hour before you can register. And then you're going to have to go to the back of the line to get on the line to get your uniforms. That means there's a very good chance you will not get one if you are toward the end of the line, because it is a situation of while supplies last. If they run out, it's over. And then until more donations come in, there will be no more uniforms to give to anyone. And so Jenny's recommendation, and I think anybody who else is involved in this would say the exact same thing. If you have the means to register ahead of time, do it, because otherwise it's going to put you to the back of the line, and it's going to take a significant more amount of time before you're able to get the uniforms that you need. So keep that in mind. Now I'm going to click on the second one. This one is for the kids who are in the middle school and the high school. This takes place 1 week later, the 17th of August, from the same time frame, noon until 5 p.m. The same rules apply. You need to have an ID for this in order to be served. And you have to fill out the information at kpsue.org. Again, if you don't have a computer or a phone or don't have access to the internet, you can, again, register on the day of the event. But remember, 30 minutes, maybe even longer of a wait to fill out the paperwork, for them to check ID and all that sort of thing, and then you go to the end of the line while everybody else who was registered is already waiting online patiently. So really, if you can, if you know anybody who may not have access to the internet, help them out. Let them know they need to do this ahead of time, and if they don't, that they're going to have to wait a while longer. And you know, these are the type of events where things can get out of control, but the idea this year is to keep it as smooth as possible, because the more smoothly this goes, the quicker it happens and the quicker people get home, so they don't have to spend the entire day hanging out at Arlington Depot Park. If you don't know where Arlington Depot Park is, it's between Forest Street and Elm Street and Garofalo Place and Midland Avenue. It's right across the street from the former Greek's restaurant. You will know where it is when you see it. And you'll, again, if you haven't seen it today, you'll be able to see this map, which will show up on your computer when you freeze this or pause it at some point in time. But this is what is most important. Do the registration. And folks, I cannot stress this enough, how important it is for people who have already taken advantage of this program to donate back what is no longer being used uniform-wise, because without that, then there's not going to be anything to give out. So please, please do that. You still have time. Bring that over to the Super Laundromat at 336 Kearny Avenue. Very important. Now, the last and final thing that they are doing is the distribution of school supplies. This is being sponsored by the PBA, the FMBA, and also many donations have come in from residents. I know a whole bunch of people who have spent hundreds of dollars on these to give things out, got good deals. It's very expensive. It is something that many people cannot afford. There is a PayPal fund which is tax-free, and it means that the donor does not get charged, and the person who receives the money does not get charged either. And you'll see there's also a Cash App exchange on this screen. Again, if you need to write it down, freeze the video right now, pause the video, and you will be able to see it. The collections are underway and will continue until the 25th of August. And the distribution date is the 29th. Just like with the uniforms, you must register for that. Those registrations are not open yet. They open up on August 1st, and the website is on the red box underneath this flyer that you can see right here. kpsue.regfox.com/school-supplies. You must register there or you will not be given school supplies. As I spoke with Melanie and also with Jenny, the goal is to give out at least 600. We can easily help to make that even more so that nobody gets turned away. Do you have an office maybe that is getting rid of older school supplies that don't need to be used? Do you know somebody who has colored pencils, backpacks, number 2 pencils, crayons, notebooks, washable markers? You see all the things that are listed here. Please consider donating them. At the 2 drop-off locations, both drop-off locations are listed on this form here. One is Kearny Fire Station 3 at 109 Midland Avenue. You know where that is. That's right off of Kearny Avenue, between Argyle Place and Kearny Avenue. So, between Argyle Place and Beach Street, really, but it's just a block off of Kearny Avenue. The other drop-off location for donations of school supplies is the Kearny Police Department headquarters, 237 Laurel Avenue. That is, of course, between Forest Street and Elm Street. Go to the front door, ring the bell, somebody will let you in, and I believe there is a collection canister somewhere there that you can leave all of your donations. They'll need these by the 25th of August because the idea is to put these backpacks together with school supplies in them. So if you can, please try to get your donations in by the 25th of August. This is a very worthwhile cause. I remember when I left for college, and we had to buy books and we had to buy we had to buy supplies. I mean, the notebooks alone were usually like $50 and things of that nature. Imagine if you're a parent or a mother or father of 3 or 4 kids and you have to buy these things times 4 and you're living on a fixed income, or if you're struggling. It's almost a daunting, impossible or unfathomable situation to have to be in. And the beautiful thing about the town of Kearny is that so many of you are always so generous. So please give it some thought. It's very, very important that the donations flow in, and you still have plenty of time to do that until the 25th. And then 4 days later, everything will be distributed school supplies wise. So that's everything in a nutshell, folks. Do me a favor. If there are people who you know did not get to see this, send them this video so they can see what they need to do. I know it's a little bit long, but it's as extensive as I could possibly make this. Make sure that anybody you know who may not know about what's going on here is fully aware of it so that they can take advantage of these incredibly generous programs that Jenny Paz began 2 years ago in conjunction with Super Laundromat, the Santos brothers, Mina Claudius, and, of course, Juan Barroso. If anybody has any questions that may not have been answered today, leave them in the comments below on Facebook or YouTube or X, Twitter, and I will do my best to get back to you. And I'm sure Melanie or Jenny will do the same thing too. If there's something I can't answer, that they can, or vice versa. We will do our best to make sure everybody's questions are fielded and answered in time. So that's going to do it for this afternoon's broadcast. Thank you for watching today, everybody. Let's make this a very successful event for the school uniform exchange. Jenny and Melanie and everybody else involved have worked so hard on this, and they're going to do some great things that might not have happened 2 or 3 years ago in this town for the kids who live here and who sometimes struggle more than we could ever imagine. Let's make sure that none of them ever have to worry about school uniforms and school supplies being anything of that nature. My Uncle Michael, watching us out in Carlsbad, California, love you, Uncle. Thank you for popping by. To you, Uncle Mike, and to everybody else who is watching. That's it for now. We will see you later tonight at 7 p.m. with Tony Mondero. We're having our weather report back on Thursday nights. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and maybe we'll see you later tonight. Bye-bye.